When the Army's on the move and finds an obstacle in its way, say a river or an enemy barricade, they call on the Army Corps of Engineers to remove it. Now, you may not know much about the Army Corps of Engineers, but chances are you're driven by their work a time or two. I'm very interested in the Army and plan on joining the Army Corps of Engineers after I'm commissioned through ROTC. I'm also majoring in civil engineering. I've gathered research for this speech from sites including the Army's website and the Army Corps of Engineers website. Today we're going to talk about the history of the Army Corps of Engineers and the many jobs that they do. First, let's look at the history of the Army Corps of Engineers. The Army Corps of Engineers can trace its history back to 1775, when Colonel Richard Gridley got the ball rolling in a sense by being General George Washington's first chief engineer. Now in 1779, Congress actually established an Army Corps of Engineers. The Corps played a very important role in the Revolutionary War by participating in battles such as Bunker Hill. But after the war, the Corps was disbanded. But in 1802, Congress reestablished the Army Corps of Engineers as we know them today. Their first role was to create the West Point Military Academy, which according to the Army Corps of Engineers website was the very first engineering school at the time. The Army Corps of Engineers roles got more increasing in the 19th and 20th century. During the 1840s, the Corps was tasked with mapping the western frontier, and 100 years later, the Army Corps of Engineers was hard at work building bases and airfields to defeat Hitler and later to deter the Soviets during the Cold War. Now that we know a little bit more about the history of the Army Corps of Engineers, let's look at their roles. The Army's website states that the Army Corps of Engineers has 5 missions. The first mission of the Army Corps of Engineers is water protection. They do this by operating, they have hydropower projects, port modernization projects, and they operate flood protection. Their next mission is actually to protect the environment. They do this by cleaning out previously contaminated military bases, and they also have projects to create new wetlands. Their next mission is to have military and civilian infrastructure building projects. For the military, they build training facilities and bases used by the Army, and for the civilians, they have 609 dams, which in one of them is Table Rock Lakes Dam. Their next project is they're dedicated to Homeland Security. The Office of Homeland Security, due to recent events, they created planning to help protect our nation's infrastructure, and the Army Corps of Engineers helps save millions of lives and dollars by helping with natural and man-made disasters. The Army Corps of Engineers' final mission is to actually help the Army on the battlefield. They do this by building buildings used by the Army and Air Force for combat, and then they actually send in forward engineer support teams to help combat engineers in the field in the immediate removal of obstacles. In conclusion, I hope that from this speech you can say you learned a little bit more about the Army Corps of Engineers, where they came from or what they do. I know that I did. And the next time you go to Table Rock Lake to go fishing or something, remember that the Army Corps of Engineers helped make that a possibility. Thank you.